How could you be so heartless?
But that nigga that's handcuffed that with them whelps all over him, they're not breaking him. If you look at his expression, you can see, you know, whatever. And when I think of Doc, they're not gonna break him. He's in there, they're not gonna break him. I can see by the letters. I mean, he's doing letters, he's doing pictures, he's talking about old times, he's very concerned with what's going on with the family. So don't let them break you, which is probably the only thing he really cares about right now. And even though I am his family, that is not Doc's priority. Doc's priority is this family. I can tell from the letters. You know, we like to think, and I'm sure my mother, my sister, my brothers like to think that we might be the priority. Being I lived in an organization all my life, I know an organization that family is not the priority. It is the family of those who believe like I believe, is what Doc used to say. Another aspect to it, I'm going to be very short because I know you'll have a program. Another aspect to understand is what Doc says that I think is the strongest thing that he says, is that the reason why he went through so many changes is that he came giving you what you wanted so that you would learn to want what he had to give. And that is probably the thing that puts the crux on it. He's guilty of putting black faces on Jesus and Abraham and Moses. He's guilty of that. He's guilty of waking the Muslims up to say, forget the hadith if it don't have nothing to do with us. He's guilty of indicating that there's a gap between the black cowboy and the black Indian, and we're filling the gap. He came to teach, let's look at the Egyptologist or the history of Egypt or the Kemetic. Let's look at it in right knowledge. Let's look at it the correct way. He came, he's guilty of that, but that's not what he's in for. If they say he's in for child molestation, you remember, they should all be in jail for what they did to us as a race of people. You're talking about rapists, liars, ask the Indians. Or one way is just look at what happens in the complexion of our race. We go from this hue to this hue. And I'm not meaning that we're all not brothers and sisters, but that is how they left their mark behind. And we know it wasn't because brothers were raping Europeans. It wasn't because of that. They didn't have enough rope if that would have been the case. What's happened is because they've destroyed us as a people. And I don't mean the mixing and the things that they've done, but they've weakened our men because the women had to tolerate us standing by while they were abused. And now, Doc fills the gap and brings us back together and builds pyramids, which goes way back. You know, Adam and Eve is a cool history, but Lucy is even a better one. And so, we as a people gotta understand, a teacher came teaching us. They locked him up. They'll lock up another one. They'll lock up another one. So for that reason, please, keep on building like you guys are doing. Educate the kids. And I'll tell Doc what I saw when I got here, okay? Have some wine for me when you get to the back. I'll use a nip or two every now and then. And, no. Did you want to do that right now? Yeah. Robert.
Robert.
Everybody all right?
Yeah.
Everybody do like this? Can I get up? That was heavy. We heard from the bloodline of our master teacher, Dr. Malachi Z. York, his own brother in the flesh. We understand that it was a good turnout, like we said, in New York and Harlem. I first got that email from Attorney Malik Shabazz, and I immediately forwarded email him back and copied Muhammad Qasim, the Grand Master that Sergeant Ranking Man appointed from the state of New York. And next thing you know, emails were going back and forth, and we were trying to get the brothers there, and I heard Brother True Light and yourself was spoken. It was very, very wonderful. What you saw is a linking up of the Nuwaubian nation. When I say that, let's not discriminate.
It's an ancient Egyptian word that means inclining to black. That's why you saw in the presentation that we had earlier, The Voice of Africa, Baba clarified that what you saw was about 20 years ago. And he said this is a Nubian nation 20 years ago. And now we're in this school when we speak in our ancient tongue and we say Nuwabik, Nuwabu, and Nuwabian. So we're all Nubians. And I just wanted to make that clear. I don't want you to think that we're some sect or we're different people. And Brother Obar has outlined that wonderfully. For the sake of time, we have we're so full today. We are so full. If you could just look out and see yourselves. We're going to go to the children. It's all about the children. Brother Obar made that perfectly clear. And he said, he prefaced it by saying that Baba's family is this family. And I know my parents are here. Mildred Turner and Billy Turner sitting in the corner. And sometimes it's like they're not even my parents when it comes to this mission. Because they always say, you always going and doing it. I'm your mama, I'm your brother, I'm your daddy. And it's like Yeshua said. He declared who his family was. Those who walk as his father, do as his father, blah, blah, blah. Y'all know the scripture. As I paraphrase it, that is his family. That's my blood family sitting over there. And the works and deeds come from my father, Dr. Malachi Z. York. So everyone that's Nuwabian, your family, they still love you. Don't think because we're in this mission and we're working for the Most High and the one sent, Dr. Malachi Z. York, that we don't know who our biological parents are. Because sometimes, I know I've heard my parents say, well, he gone, we don't know where he gone, but you know he doing something for Doc. And I get my criticism too. So I understand what Brother Obar is saying. It's your heart, we're so full that nothing stops us from making that connection so that we can break this spell of ignorance, spell of kingu that's been placed on our people. So with that being said, as we jiggle the program, and we're going to turn it back over to Brother Norman, who has come a tremendous way, we want to hear from our children from the Egyptian Church of Christ. And after that, we're going to have a quick repast. We're going to be called from labor to refreshment by the Grand Junior Warden of the Masonic Lodge. And I'm going to give it to Norman because, you know, he has some big jokes to get us from one face to the next.
Honestly, look, I don't have a joke. I was just reflecting on what Baba Oba was saying. You know, he said that we have to, you know, whatever we have against ourselves, we have to let it go. And it was just, it reminded me of a story. My brother and I were traveling back from Louisiana. We'd gone to the casinos. And this, like 3 months ago, we'd gone to the casinos. And as we were on our way back, we got stopped by the police in a little small town right outside of, just on the border of Louisiana and Texas. It's called Vida. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but the police come dressed in their Klan uniform. And this is a figure of speech, but he came to the car and he asked me to get out. I was driving and he slapped me. And he slapped me right in front of my car that my brother could see this. And then he asked me for my driver's license. And he asked my brother to get out of the car. And then he slapped him. And he told him to go back in the car and sit down. And then he came back 3 minutes later and he gave me my driver's license and said, go on, boy, I ain't gonna give you a ticket. And my brother looked at me and I looked at him and we were riding. And it was like, man. You know, my brother said, why did the cop slap me? And I said, I told him to. And he looked at me and was like, why did you tell that dude to slap me? And I said, because the whole way home, I didn't want to hear you say, man, if you would have slapped me like he slapped me. Whatever we got between us, we got to put it aside. Like Mama Ola has said, put it aside. And just go and do what we got to do. We are now waiting on the children. I know y'all saying, you ain't gonna let no police slap me. What? Slap me? Oh, hold up. No, wait a minute. I ain't giving you my driver's. Oh, you gonna shoot me. I'm like, you didn't have to shoot me. God, so if the children will come forward, we just waiting on the children have a presentation. They get ready. The sisters got the food going back there. The order in the back is just putting it down. And if y'all get a chance to, there's not really a mini replica, but there's a little something that's going to put you in the mind of Tom Ray back in the corner over there. If you haven't had it, if you weren't blessed to see the actual land, you can walk back over there and look at that small rendition.